I think the welcome was really, really warming. I was even very surprised. At first, I was surprised that the audience was full. I mean, that there were so many people to see the film. It was really exciting. And when I arrived after the screening, I heard all the young people like applauding and also very, I don't know, excited by the film. So it was really, really warming to me. And then after for the debate, I was also very surprised that the question were so smart. I think, of course, they are smart, but you are not always used to have very smart questions. So it was very interesting to see that there were people that really liked film and cinematography. So that was a very interesting experience, especially because my film is talking about youth. So it's always very passionate to to see that young people can talk about the film and rely and they recognize themselves in the film. This is very cool to me. So what was the main or the most interesting question they asked me? I don't know, because I felt like there was a lot of interesting questions, but maybe what was surprising, interesting also for me was that there were several girls in the audience that were from the LGBTQE plus community, and they went to talk to me and to say that and they were able to say it in public and in the microphone in front of everybody, and the people were applauding, and that was moving to me also to feel like it's possible now in Italy, in Europe, for young people to be okay with the fact that you are from this community and not be ashamed to say it in public, especially when you are a teenager. This is very moving. Yeah, I think the atmosphere is very different and it's very interesting. When I arrived, I saw very, very little children playing flute, or I don't know, and there were young people everywhere, even some young people making a radio thing, and you could feel that there were not only the audience, but they were also making the festival. And it's kind of crazy to see a whole festival dedicated to them. And as I told you, because my film is trying to talk about youth, and also because we have this idea that young people are not interested in cinema anymore, it's very impressive and very exciting to see that there are some places like here that are dedicated to cinema and to young people, and that it works, and that they seems to be, even in the debate, in the Q&A, I was surprised that they were not leaving the room. I mean, there are so many festivals where people are leaving during the Q&A. I don't know if they are allowed to leave the room, but you could feel that they were concentrated and interested, and so yeah, I feel it's a very special atmosphere, but it's so exciting to an old director to see that some people will still love cinema, you know, in few years. I think there are two scenes that I really like. It's the two love scenes, because then it's a film that is talking about language, but then we are in on those scenes. It's like if they were trying to invent another language, a body language. So those two scenes are important to me. But maybe my favorite one is one I wrote with the actresses. It was about their fear as a young lady in this world. We discussed this scene. It didn't exist in the script, but we decided to add this scene, and so they really had to put their own fear in this scene, and I like this scene a lot because I feel like it's sincere of them. Yeah, and maybe no, maybe my favorite thing, maybe it's just one shot of the German girls crying at the end of the film, because we shot it in the train when we are coming back to Paris. In fact, the film was finished. It was the end of the shooting, and we were even not allowed to shoot anymore. But then she had to cry, so she's crying, but she's also crying because it's the end of this adventure, and because she has to go back to Germany, and she didn't know if we will see each other anymore. It was her first feature film, even her first shooting. So when I see her crying on the screen, I know it's real tears, and it's moving because I like this girl a lot. So I like all those things. Illusion of distance, huh? It's interesting because I think when I wrote the film, it was important that the two girls, the French and the German one, was far enough from each other to have this feeling of, traveling and being like a little bit disturbed in a stranger place. And as you know, Germany and France are very close also. So it was interesting to find how we could work on this feeling of being a stranger somewhere. And then I didn't want to make it cliche, so I also worked on the fact that there are a lot of similarities. I didn't want to shoot in South France and then in a small village of Bavarian, but I shot in Strasbourg, which is maybe the most German city. So the illusion of distance would be to me also the illusion of distance between people, between even your best friend and you, and your mother and you, and the fact that even with very, very close people, there is always something you cannot get, even if you feel very familiar. And this is also the theme of the film, this language thing. You can translate, but it will never mean exactly the same. And it depends on which word you choose, but for each people, one word means something else, even in the same country. So, yeah, I think the film is quite related to the illusion of distance theme.